Joining from Los Angeles, California, I'm Dr. Ryan Ava. As the committee continues its work to hold accountable the people who tried to overthrow the American democracy on January 6, 2021, we are seeing examples from around the world of how fragile democracy can be and how seriously these other countries are taking threats to their democracy. In Germany, for example, police launched a series of raids at dawn about 3 days ago, preventing an alleged far-right plot to violently attack their parliament. The group, German officials say, was inspired by American extremists and the storming of the US Capitol nearly 2 years ago. They were also influenced by QAnon conspiracy theories about everything from vaccines to the so-called deep state and mirrored some of the same language. Shortly before the raid on Wednesday, one of the suspects posted on Telegram, quote, "Everything will be turned upside down. The current public prosecutors and judges, as well as the heads of the health department and their superiors, will find themselves at the dock at Nuremberg 2.0, end of quote. Of course, perhaps more than any other state on earth, Germans know how dangerous this all can be. Last century, its Weimar-era democracy was overtaken by far-right extremists who launched arguably the most murderous government known to humankind. So that's pretty seared into Germans' memory. Thankfully, this plot was sorted before the group could execute any of their plans. According to Germany's public prosecutor general, the group had an armed wing that included former military and intended to form a new army. Their ringleader, who they planned to install as their monarch, is a 71-year-old aristocrat named Heinrich XIII. He comes from an ancient royal family that ruled part of central Germany for centuries in a tradition dating to the 1100s. The family names all male heirs Heinrich, followed by a number, and they go all the way up to 100 and then they start over. So now Heinrich XIII has been arrested along with 24 other members of his group, Germany's interior minister called enemies of democracy. She also said that the government would respond against such plots with the full force of law, which of course makes sense. Now, the very same day, halfway around the globe, on the other hemisphere, another democratic crisis is brewing. This one in Peru, where the president Pedro Castillo faced an impeachment vote and went on live TV to announce that he was going to dissolve the legislature. He said there would be new elections and a new constitution. His vice president and Supreme Court called it a coup attempt. Several members of his cabinet resigned immediately. Now, Peru has its own reasons to be worried. It's how long it had a fragile democracy, struggling against both armed rebels for decades, as well as authoritarian aspirations of various elected leaders, and not to mention corruption. Then, just 3 hours after the current president attempt to overthrow the government, the legislators overwhelmingly voted to impeach President Castillo. He was removed from office and taken into police custody and accused of rebellion and conspiracy. In a statement, federal prosecutors said that they condemned the violation of constitutional order and added, quote, "No authority can put itself above the Constitution," end of quote. This brings us to our country, where I have to say I am simply at awe that the man who plainly attempted to amend the American constitutional order, who on live television fomented a violent insurrection against the rightfully elected government to install himself in power over the will of people, at the retirement home in Florida, from where he essentially runs and rules the entire Republican Party, is running for president again. He is the only declared candidate for president. Again, other countries like Germany and Peru, democracies like ours, recognize a threat to their constitutional and democratic order when they see one. It sure does seem like they take it way more seriously than we do. And I think part of the reason for that could be that they are way less complacent about how resilient democracy is and how much of a threat someone like Donald Trump can be. To support my work, please subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up. Also, please don't forget to hit the bell icon so you wouldn't miss any of my new videos. Thanks for watching.